All right, Dr. Green, are we good to go?
Yes, you go for it.
Okay, so I'm Braden Smith, and I'm with EcoPrint Bikes, team number 7, and we're just gonna run you through what we went through and kind of a breakdown of the Marketplace Solutions business simulation. On the agenda today, we'll take you through kind of what is the Marketplace simulation because we were in last place, so we were tasked with that. Kind of what we believe as a company, a team overview, the team members, and kind of our jobs and everything like that. And we'll run you through a business strategy, kind of where we started and where we ended up, and kind of how we got there along the way. We'll run you through some simulation results, kind of our highlights throughout the different quarters, and where we ended up on the market ranking. And to conclude, we'll just run through some team members' thoughts and kind of the experience we took away from the simulation and conclusion at the end.
Okay, the point of the marketplace simulation is basically for students to create their own business from scratch in the teams that we were put in. The goal of the presentation or of the simulation basically is to design and manufacture bikes that dominated the market base. And then students will build an understanding of the business, like the business workplace along the way. Micro simulations provided a simulation to increase the overall team members' knowledge of how to work a business workplace. As the teams have moved forward through different quarters, they were presented with new challenges, issues that everybody had to figure out how to solve.
So what we believe, our brand is committed to revolutionizing cycling through innovation, 3D printing technology, to make the bikes more sustainable and cost effective through a new carbon fiber technology.
Just kind of a breakdown of the team. Again, I'm Braden Smith. I'm the president, and I also served as the vice president of accounting and finance.
I'm Caden McDonald. I'm the Vice President of Manufacturing and Business.
I'm Harrison Anders, and I am the Vice President of the Business Analytics.
I'm Ethan McCauley, and I'm the Vice President of Marketing.
I'm Lauren Seyfried, and I'm the Vice President of Sales Management.
Okay, so kind of where we started, in the first and second quarter, we had a bit of a shaky start with us only opening one brand in speed, which kind of led to our downfall at the start because we had the lowest percent in market share, and it was just a very narrow percent of the market share we had because we had only opened the single brand.
So where we ended, following quarter 2, we decided to expand into recreation. Before we were just in speed, and this allowed us to expand into a new market and to take a competitive stance in both recreation and speed. We also made some adjustments to our advertisements, tweaked our previous ads, and made some new ads. This turned out to be very beneficial for us, and we saw a negative profit of $28,000. Although many people would think this is bad, it's a huge jump from our previous quarter, which we were negative $553,000.
Now I'm just going to run you guys kind of through the results after the end of quarter 2 and quarter 3 and our expectations for quarter 4. After quarter 2, we saw poor financial performance due to our lack of brands. Like Harrison said, we only had one brand in one share of the market. We were last in market performance, market effectiveness, and asset management because of our overcalculation of our expected demand, and our workers were also not very happy with how we were treating them. Fast forwarding to quarter 3, we were still last in most categories because of the struggles that we had in quarter 2, but we saw an improved financial performance. We were in better control of our asset management and our manufacturing, and this was because as a team we kind of went through and we were like, let's find a better prediction of our demand. Let's improve our advertisements. And we just gained a better understanding of what the simulation wanted from us.
So looking forward in quarter 4, we believe that we're in a great position, and we are projected to increase in both our market share and our sales. and we're projected to erase our debt from earlier quarters as well.
And so as a team, we've got together and figured out what we got from this simulation. And what I had got from it was improved problem solving skills, coming together with my team and really communicating on what we needed to do. And what the simulation did, it offered myself key insights of how business and engineering can go hand in hand.
What I gained from this presentation was learning to establish goals and keep them in mind throughout the process. It expanded my knowledge within the business world and also improved my team skills. And then overall, I gained an understanding of what it takes to truly run a business.
Yeah, so what I got from this was that it enhanced our skills and knowledge about how to run a business and what to do with that. And then when it comes to an engineering degree, it'll help a lot because I know most engineers don't get to take business classes. I think this will really be beneficial to us. And then the whole teamwork aspect was really great because I know in future jobs there will be a lot of team building and group projects, so that'll help a lot.
So what I learned about the project, it taught me how to improve my teamwork, establish goals. It taught me a lot about the marketing aspect of a business, and it also taught me how to trust the process.
I'm Braden, the president, and as the president, it really enhanced my leadership skills as I led my team throughout the simulation. Another important part, I definitely learned how to work in a team better, and hopefully that will extend into the future when I'm an engineer in the workplace. And I also developed an understanding of what the kind of effort and the workplace skills that it takes to be an engineer because it is a difficult profession.
So in conclusion, going into quarter four or at the end of quarter four, we expect to be a top team and saying that we are prepared to make any necessary risk in order to do that. And with our increased knowledge of the market and what the customer is satisfied with, we expect to come out on top.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much. Would you unshare your screen?
Yes, sir.
We're gonna start with Rudebach and then Gilbert for feedback.
So, ladies and gentlemen, nice work for freshmen for the first time out doing a simulation. You guys put together a very, very impressive presentation. That being said, there's a few tweaks I would like to present to you. First of all, Caden, would you be kind enough to go ahead and blur your background? If you don't have a store-bought background, if you will, go ahead and blur it. It's the best way. The other guys had done that. Please also use a larger type size as you go throughout. Slides 9 and 10 had very nice type size, so go ahead and do something like that. And practice your transitions from Lauren to Ethan, and then also from Ethan to Caden. You had a little bit of a pause there, so let me encourage you to work on that. Also on slides 6 and 7, use an arrow or some way to help the viewer distinguish which one is your team. So just an arrow would draw my eyes to that specific one, so it helped me understand. And also really nice job. I was very impressed. It's the first time I've seen this done, but when you guys were doing this, what I learned section, as you were talking, your picture appeared up on the screen just for you alone. That was a very nice touch. And Dr. Braden, this is the 2000th one of these you've done, it seems like, but that's the first time I've seen that done. So very nice job. Whoever's idea that was, good for you. And
Thank
Brandon, I hope I didn't steal all of your thunder, but I know you've got some good things to say.
Man, you touched on a few of the things that I wanted to. So first, I want to congratulate you. These are underclassmen, Dr. Green?
Yeah, these are first year freshmen.
Okay, so I've heard plenty of these as well. And transitions is a big thing for me. I hate when people say, and I'm going to pass it off to, or I'm going to hand it off to. And y'all didn't do that, which makes my heart so happy. But you got to be ready to pick up the ball when it's your turn, like Dr. Rudebach said. I like the cleanliness and the template that you chose for the slides. However, I know Dr. Green likes images, so maybe you might want to find a way to sprinkle a couple in there. But on the subject of images, Dr. Rudebach's right. The headshots with your lessons learned, fantastic. But now I'm going to challenge you. because now that I know there's a juicy steak out there, I want the ribeye. I want the whole thing. Every single one of you has a smartphone, probably an iPhone, which has portrait mode. Take a good photo, high resolution, and put that in there. Don't give me a blurry one. Give me 4K. Because if you do that and retweak the slide to where the image is in a better spot, not off in the top right corner, put it more centered with the subject header or something like that, all of a sudden you have like a professional level slide right there. So my point to you guys is you sound wonderful. And with little tweaks, like with the formatting of your slides, getting off to a faster start, you spent like 3 minutes just getting to the introduction. All of a sudden you have this amazing presentation. I would not have believed that y'all were underclassmen.
Okay, appreciate that, Mr. Garrett. So I'm just going to mention a couple of things. Mr. Gilbert's right. Visuals less is. I would have less text and more visuals. Especially page slide number 3. Again, point. Don't tell us. Show us. So as Dr. Rudebach point, I would ask you to highlight. I want you to circle. You can do that before circle and then use your cursor and move it up and down. I know you have not seen that. That's not done a lot, but that's what we do. You need to do that. Also, the lessons learned I thought was dynamic. Here's a comment, and I appreciate Brandon in the chat box. You might get comments, but here's what I'm going to say. As you get feedback, each other team should get better. Okay, we don't want to see the same stuff, saying and repeating. If you can make the changes, if you can make them quickly, make those changes. So what I want you to do right now, if you look below your screen, there's a instrument that says reaction. Let's give a reaction for team number 7. Let's give them a nice applause virtually. Give them something virtual. I like that love. That's pretty good. Love. Give them something. Let's see everybody do that. Jackson, you paying attention? Lauren, are you paying attention? Give us. All right, there we go. All right. Next up is team 4. Team 4, you up. Oh, I want to mention team 7. You had 6 minutes. You went over. You were 7. So that needs to be tightened up. You need to practice a little bit more. So team 4, you're up.
I think we're good. All right, good morning, everyone. We're team 4 and it's our presentation. So our company name was called Cyclepaths, and our motto for this was pedaling happiness, chasing velocity. A little bit of the agenda for us is a company overview of just what we believe in, our strategies and goals, our results up to Q3, and then concluding points of what we could have possibly done better. And then each individual will do lessons learned. So for our team, we had John Ilunga, who was our Vice President of Finance. We had Joseph McNamer, who was Vice President of Marketing, Joshua Miller, who was Vice President of Manufacturing, and then myself, Sophia Zismer, as President.
All right, going into our marketing strategy, our focus was largely on highly competitive segments. Wanted to focus on recreation and speed because we felt like we could make a presence in the market. Those two. We wanted to focus on the larger market spots, the different cities where bikes would be used a lot. We wanted to build a market position and defend it. We really wanted to establish ourselves and have both control over the demand and the product that we give. In the market, we ranked 6th. Our total demand was 1,400. Our best performing products were Aeroboat, and we sold mostly the Leisure Cruiser. We had locations in Bangalore, Amsterdam, New York. We had 4 printers, and we sold 1,461 bikes.
which will lead to our finance.
For our finance, we began with 455,000 in revenue. And so for the next Q4 that we were going to, we had 2,645,000. And so we really thought it was important in order to improve our products and our brands, and then improve our ads in order to get more customers.
Okay, for the conclusion, if we had another year and a half, we would try to figure out the ads, get those in a better situation so we can increase the demand. But with that, we also need to boost production with more printers because we kept running into stockouts. We didn't have enough printers to keep up with our demand. And then we want to steal other companies' market share through quality brands. So pretty much just have high quality bikes that people want to buy over the less quality of the other.
And so now we're going to go into our lessons learned. And so for myself, I had the opportunity to be the leader. And so I just had to realize how important it was to communicate with everybody and learn to work with everybody that's so different and like different time schedules. And so it was really important to figure things out that works at everybody's characters.
One lesson that I learned is that things like, even if on paper they may seem perfect, they may not work in the real world. So just trying to keep that in mind, that things may not work exactly how you expect them to.
The lesson I learned was that the business field is very competitive, and you have to establish your presence early to be dominant, and how to like communicate my thoughts with my team members.
Okay, we also have Joseph, but for some reason he told us that his mic isn't working. And so we'll get that fixed out for our final presentation. And then Happy New Year. Thank you for watching.
Sophia, you made me laugh. I'm sorry. We unshare your screen. We're gonna go with Gilbert and then Rudabout.
I'm still typing notes. Okay, so first things, I like the slide template that y'all chose, and I want to highlight specifically what you did with your agenda slide, because it was simple. It told me exactly what I needed to know. And if you want to audibly expand on the words that are on the screen, then you can choose to do so. Now, I want you to take that sort of mentality and translate that to the other side. So for example, on your master plan, I liked it-ish, but you probably want less words, because I noticed that in some of your boxes, you had bold words for emphasis, which is good. But if you've got an entire sentence in there and half of it's bolded, then you've taken away from what you're trying to emphasize. If everything's important, nothing's important. Gene or
John.
Is it Gene?
John, French, right? French.
Find a way to make French. Try to find a way to make a more fluid transition between your speaking points. You had like 2 or 3 slides in a row, which is fine. Own your message, own your narrative, step into it with confidence and deliver. Slide numbers need to be bigger. I know Dr. Green's going to say that. Opportunity for improvement. At the end, when you were doing the lessons learned, one of your teammates messaged you and said, hey, my mic's not working. That's great. Communicating with each other and noticing that in the middle of a presentation, very key. That's high level stuff. What you can do then, if you can go ahead and provide your teammates with that quick blurb of what you were going to say, that way nothing is lost from the presentation. You just ad-libbed and delivered at home. That's pro.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rudabout.
So just a few things. Another really nice job. Congratulations, Sophie. Good job leading your team. You did a nice job on that. Let me encourage you to blur your background before the next presentation. And also, you did a very nice job when you were going through the agenda. You did not over talk it. You didn't speak too much about things and take time there. You went through things very nicely. I'm going to keep hammering this the entire day probably, but guys, please use a larger type size. Slides 5, 8, 9 were just too small. And I noticed on slide 7 with the market share slide that you did highlight your team name. So congratulations on doing that. I don't know if you had done that before or if you picked up and did it recently, but good job on that. And I'll also encourage you to work on your transitions, as Brandon talked about. And also, John, when we have some trouble with your audio. And so let me encourage you, Sophia, especially as a team leader, Sophia, if somebody's having audio difficulties with the technology, as a leader, let me encourage you to be ready to step in and take over if need be. So nice job, guys. Appreciate your work. Just a few tweaks from me. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Rudabach. So some comments. Team 4, you got tons of time. Why am I saying that? Your presentation was 4 minutes and 35 seconds. So you got plenty of time. So I'm going to suggest, I want you to highlight more of your accomplishments. Those trophies that you have in the simulation, spend some time talking about the trophies. I am also, for the teams, I am going to show the timeline, at least how you progress through the semester. You'll have that, but I want you to take some time doing that. So this is for all the teams. For the finance, for financial and the probably some other data like production. I want you guys to use your cursor, and I want you to highlight. So you can highlight, you can circle in red, do that before the presentation. And then when you get in the presentation, I want you to use your cursor and point. I think Dr. Rudabach and Mr. Gilbert, I think yesterday somebody had a laser pointer or something that they were doing something with I had never seen before. So there are some options. You guys are technology savvy. So at this time, let's give a virtual applause for Team 4. A virtual applause for Team 4. Let's do something. Come on now. Come on. Find the reactions. You can do better. All right. Good job. Dr. Rudabach, you're ahead of the game. Next up, Team 2. Team 2, you're up.
Hi, I'm Karsten from Team 2. Our team is Optimus. Let me share my content real quick. All right, can y'all see?
Yeah, everything looks good.
All right, heck yeah. All right, you want to go ahead, Joshua?
All right, so we are Optimus, and our slogan is pedaling to perfection. I'm going to start off right at the bat with this is a scorecard. Our total performance in Q1, it all started out the same. Everyone was even. Q2, we had a 0.331 compared with 14.131. We had a really rough start. In Q3, we realized what we had to do, and we stuck with our guns. We stayed with recreation. We realized that everyone else was going to be moving around, and we wanted to stay with recreational bikes because everyone's going to be leaving. We haven't got the results for Q4 yet. Other results for Q4, I was supposed to say Q3. Financial performance. We had a 22. The low was a 9. We were about sitting around 4th place, 3rd place. Now it's about even in subpar with everything else.
All right, so for our strategy and performance, in Bangalore, we had a recreational sale of 1.7K. In Amsterdam, we had recreational 2.5 thousand. And in Rio de Janeiro, we had a recreational sale of 549. Our sales for our top brands is Bliss and Cloud Rider. We had a total gross margin of 706,704. And we had our brands of Cloud Rider, Bliss, Apex, and Flash. For our advertisement, Cloud Rider had a Optimus 59 and our highest was 77. Bliss 59 and our highest was 77. Apex, we had 56, but the highest was 77, and Flash had no ad. Our competitive recreational ad analysis, reflectors highest at 5. The CF Lite, highest at 6. For carrying, the Cloud Rider, highest at 8. And our motivators for Cloud Rider at 6 and our lowest at 5.
Yeah, so going on to our goals. Our goals, like I said, was to stick with recreation. We realized that one of the top teams was going at speed, and everyone was going to be leaving. Everyone was going to be leaving recreation because that's where everyone started. Everyone saw the market share was really high on speed, and so they all left. That was our main goal point. Yeah, like I said, that was our whole goal the entire time. We wanted to stick with our guns. Everyone is moving. Everyone's leaving. Everyone's going to mountain. Everyone's going to speed. No one wanted to stick with recreation. This was our total cash balance at the end of quarter 3.
And on to our future projects and preparation. For our team progress, Joshua had team building and communication. Sean was team cooperation. I was teamwork. And Austin was sales understanding. And we really just wanted to improve those around the board. Practice makes perfect. Quarter 1, we're meeting 3 to 4 times a week. For quarter 2, it was 2 to 3 times a week. And for quarter 3, we were meeting about once a week. Quarter 4, we realized our team was most efficient meeting and completing work online. We now have a better understanding to how to solve time management problems.
Yeah, so all around, what I've noticed as a team leader is we learned a lot of little lessons. Scheduling, like Carson mentioned in the last slide, we started out meeting a lot, and we realized that we work a lot more efficiently whenever we work over Zoom. And so this is just kind of a little example. We would just pick days out of the week that we would Zoom, pick days out of the week that we meet in person, typically the day before class, and we go over everything. And then days that we'd be over phone. Business simulations. This was the most important thing to us. If we do not gain our knowledge in business simulations, then we're not going to know how to work through this website. And last but definitely most important, that killed us the most in all these quarters was our advertisement. In quarter 4, we actually edited all of our advertisements, and that helped us a lot. But up until then, our advertisements were not good and it was dragging us down. So that's the end. Any questions?
Thank you so much. Would you unshare your screen? Can everybody hear me? Okay. We're going to start with Rudabach by Gilbert. Dr. Rudabach, you hear me? Can everybody hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. All right. Dr. Rudabach, you up.
So Karsten, please blur your background. Everybody else had done that, and they can show you how if you're not sure how to do that. I'll go through some of the same things. Please make your type size larger. And also, just to let you know, on the recreational slide, for example, when you're giving individual numbers, those numbers to me were meaningless because there is no frame of reference. So you might consider saying something at some different numbers, maybe what other people are doing, what the average is, what you've done before, anything like that. But a number, I could just as easily said 1 million and it wouldn't have made any difference. So give me some frame of reference that will make those slides much more effective. And you did that on the advertising slide because you talked about the current, I think that was maybe the phrase, and also the highest. So we at least had a frame of reference there. Let's see, the plans slide, yeah, that needs to be larger also. And I don't recall who it was that finished, but to just say that's the end, might want to come up with a little different phrase there to make it a little bit more professional, because it sounded like you went, oh, wait a minute, we just run out of things to say. I guess we'll stop now. So something like that. Otherwise, really nice job, guys. You're getting much better. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rudabach. Mr. Gilbert.
Yeah, to build off something that Dr. Rudabach said, with the results and the metrics, You gave me information and in a manner that no other team did, which is good. But now that you did that, you have to do it at a high level. I need some sort of, relative comparison, maybe like, some colors on the graph to show where you stand versus someone else, right? To Dr. Riddle's point, you gave me information, but I don't know what it means or how to digest it. Please keep in mind, presentation mode on different devices is not created equal. Someone was sharing, I think, on an iPad, and therefore I had a thumbnail of you in the bottom right corner, along with on my Zoom, I have everyone in a gallery across the top as well. So I saw you in two spots, and one of them was faster than the other. I really like your choice of slide template, and for the most part, the ratio of like wording to you guys talking. For example, that location slide, I love that. You didn't just tell me, oh, I did this bike, or oh, I did this city. You had a little pointer to where the city was. I thought that was really well done. Let's see here. Just want to encourage you guys. The presentation itself really felt like it was storytelling. You were taking me on a journey with your team. There were several slides where the words were concise and you told me what I needed to know. And so I was focused more on your words than just, oh, they put a bunch of words on the screen, right? That make me read a lot. So when you go back and watch this, find a way to just make sure you have consistency slide to slide, because there's a lot to like here.
Great points. So I love the storytelling. I just think the graphics don't match being vice president and executives. It doesn't match that. So better graphics. I would actually say pull in. You got graphics and charts from the simulation. I'll pull a lot of those in, because I thought that was missing. I did not understand the competition ad reflection. I didn't even know what that was. And I'm running it. I had no idea. I didn't really understand that. So, and maybe I'm just basic. I need to go back to school. But I didn't understand that. And I think it was not clear to me. So if it's not clear, you might want to have some ads, show some ads. Your presentation was 5 minutes. I thought that was good. But here's the biggest thing. Lessons learned. You have four team members. You guys did a duo. Where the other two people?
I'm wondering that myself.
Oh
But
my
you live
goodness.
in
Oh my goodness. So you guys ad-libbing then, huh?
Oh yeah.
Actually, me and Sean were working on this about till 3 a.m. So
yeah. So we wore him out so he couldn't get up. No, man. I will handle that offline. But you want to have all your team members. I mean, I'm the grading professor. The reviewers don't know that, but I know I would like to have everybody present. So you guys did a great job given the situation. Let's give it up for team 2. Let's virtual reaction, if you don't mind. I mean, I like that hang loose. That's Hawaii. Next up, team 1. Team 1, you're up.
Okay. Can everybody hear me?
You can.
Okay, I'm gonna share my screen. Can you see the screen?
Yes, you're good.
Okay, we are Cross Trails. We are going to talk about the company overview, marketing strategy, results, and lessons learned. Our mission statement is to empower outdoor adventures through accessibility, sustainability, and enjoyable biking. Our final target segment was mountains, and our motto is to ride with faith and explore with purpose. I am the Vice President of Accounting, and I'm also the President. Katie is the Vice President of Manufacturing and Business. Peter is the Vice President of Marketing and Sales Management, and Elijah is the Vice President of Human Resources and Sales Management. Okay, our market strategy is to focus on small and higher margin segments. We also need to focus on geographic markets, which are in the middle of the cost size continuum. We also want to build a market position and defend it. And then lastly, we want to be distinctive And so we have higher service provider in the market. We opened stores in Bangalore and Rio. We did this because they would have, we believe they would have less competition, which requires more demand. So we believe we would make more profit.
We started off good with our market share being the second highest. However, all of our ads received poor ratings, and three out of five of our bikes also received poor ratings, and we also did not have enough operating capacity to meet the demand. So we had quite a few stockouts during this quarter. Our ending was not what we would have liked. Our market share was the lowest in regards to our competition. However, we didn't have any stockouts by the end, and each quarter we worked on getting our ads better to where the final quarter was at, with all of our ads receiving a high rating. And we also decided to not end up manufacturing two of our bikes because they didn't, their demand wasn't high enough, and so we decided to just focus on three of them.
According to the balanced scorecard, we had an overall total performance increase from 1.8 to 1.5, yet our market performance is the only category which decreased, while even the financial performance greatly increased from 10.2 to 23.2. With the experience we now have, if we could go back, we would reduce some strategies in different sections. Like in marketing, we would focus on better performing ads and more market research into the bikes we sell. And in human resources, we would not give our employees so much overtime.
Thank you for your time.
Oh my goodness. Oh, yeah. Amazing, team one. Brandon, Mr. Gilbert, you're up, and then Dr. Rudolph.
Yes. Okay, first and foremost, another good slide template. This was good decision making amongst this class. It had a great combination of color and sizing and like the font format. Like it was pleasant to look at. I think it's the easiest way for me to put it. Someone press button at the bottom of this because it cut off some of the words. Validate team roles.
Hey, Mr. Gilbert, Mr. Gilbert, you broke up. Could you repeat that? You broke up, froze a little bit.
Yeah. Press the hide button. Validate your. We only know that there's a mistake if you tell us or you show us that there's a mistake. Just go ahead and start speaking, and if the person who's supposed to talk speaks up, then you can fall back. But don't let there be a 20-second gap in a presentation. And Elijah, enunciate just a little more clearly. I think naturally your mouth is a little tighter when you speak, which is fine. Just know that you might have a presentation.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rudolph. Dr. Rudolph.
Good. So Scotland, very nice job when you did the agenda slide, very clear and succinct. Let me encourage you to do something on the lighting, the way your camera is, because the way it's set up right now, it's very hard for me to really see your face, and certainly can't see any expressions. So maybe do something with the lighting there so that we can see you better. Nice job on what you did. You guys did the best job so far of the size of the type. So congratulations on that. Encourage the rest of you to look at what they've done. And also slides 7 and 8, please do something to point out and differentiate your team name so we can see it. You did that in slide 9 very nicely. For consistency's sake, you might consider using the same technique for slides 7 and 8. So anytime there's a list, please go ahead and point out which one you guys are specifically. That's really all I have. So congratulations. Nice work, guys. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Dr. Rudolph. So from my standpoint, you got too much, you got time. You did an amazing job. Your presentation time, you got 5 minutes, was 3 minutes and 17 seconds. We got a lot of work. You got a lot of room. So one of the things I would say is to highlight your awards, your trophies, the journey. The one slide 4, our team, I think is an amazing slide. I would like for you to think about using that at the end too. Maybe highlighting each person like one of the team members did, one of the teams did, and kind of take that same kind of professionalism on the back end. I mean, I think guys are kind of casual on the photo, but I think it would do something. The slide 7, I'm gonna go with Dr. Where you started, I thought was good, but I also thought it was busy. So if you can point again, I know we asking you guys do a lot of stuff that you have not even seen before, but if you could mark stuff with red, highlight it, and then point to it. So if you already highlighted in advance, then point to it with your pointer. That will help. That will help us out, because when you start rambling numbers, we can't track it. We don't really know, especially people. We're gonna assume that the people that's gonna be giving you feedback have not seen this presentation or seen the simulation, so that'd be helpful. So let's give it up for team. That was team 1. Let's give it up for team 1. Virtual reaction, if you don't mind. There we go. Crying. All right, next. So next, we have our top 3 performers. Team 5. Team 5, you're up. Team 5, are you with us? Okay. All right.
All right, so Adrian. Okay, never mind.
Is it working now?
Yeah.
Sorry, I had it on a different mic. Sorry, apologies. All right.
You ready? Go ahead, Adrian. You ready?
Okay. We're Team 5, Gears of Progress. I'm the president, Adrian Crawford.
I am Dylan Coronado. I'm vice president of finances and accounting.
I am David Cross, vice president of manufacturing and
I'm Chandrika Hunter, and I'm vice president of marketing.
And we're Gears of Progress. Designing quality bikes 1 gear at a time.
So I'm going to give a brief overview of our agenda at the end of Q3 going into Q4. We decided that brand management needs were essential and that we must cater more perfectly to the customer's desires. Our advertisements needed some major improvements, and that we needed to increase the profit margin on our scorecard. And now Chandrika will give a short overview of our team portfolio.
So Adrian is our president, and Dylan is vice president of accounting and finances. David is vice president of manufacturing, and I'm vice president of marketing, and Ben is vice president of sales and HR.
leading up to this quarter. In Q1, we designed our factory and prepared more or less the groundwork going forward, including designing our original 3 bikes. In Q2, we expanded to 2 separate locations, hired more staff, and designed an additional bike. In Q3, we really ramped up our business strategy and focused in on advertising, designing more quality bikes, and increasing quality of life for the employees.
Also, to add a little bit right there, our 3 original bikes, we did add a 4th later in Q2 for a mountain bike, and our recreation was we led in recreation throughout the entire simulation with our Eleganza bike. And we won in Q3 balanced scorecard with overall performance and financial performance.
For our balanced scorecard and results, our total performance of 6.842 placed us in 3rd, but we still led in other areas like our overall financial performance and our overall cumulative wealth. What brought our scorecard down was probably our investments for the future and some of our advertising problems in the beginning that we worked on and we plan to increase throughout all the quarters.
Yeah, just to iterate, cumulatively, we were 3rd place by Q3, but strictly Q3, we were leading But one of the biggest things that I think we could have worked on in our balanced scorecard is we could have probably worked on our advertising a little more to up that scorecard to increase our overall total performance. Would have been better. So lessons learned. I, as the president of this team, I learned a little more about managing a team. It can be a little hard sometimes trying to make all the schedules work and flow together, and try to see as each one of us is just one part of a gear of the machine, and see how all of these gears work together to make one effective machine.
For me, the lesson I learned from the simulation is predicting the numbers and the stats for the financial purposes was very difficult and was a good challenge.
For me, the effectiveness of advertising was on dramatic display throughout the course. As someone who isn't very akin to advertisement, it is interesting to see how effective it can truly be.
For me, sales are difficult and they take time to do and to understand.
And in my case, I had to learn how to manage time more effectively, how to communicate with my team over virtual things because my schedule was very different than theirs, and how to learn from business simulation. Any questions from the board?
Thank you so much.
Any questions? All right. Thank you. This was Team 5, Gears of Progress.
Hey, thank you, bro. Appreciate it, Adrian. We're gonna go with Rudabach, Gilbert.
Alrighty, so Chandrika, please go ahead and blur your background. That's a nice mantle picture, so it looked nice. It wasn't distracting, but just go ahead as a rule of thumb, blur the backgrounds unless you have a professional one done. You guys obviously need to work on your transitions between each other, and that just comes from practice.
Hey, Dr. Rudabach, Dr. Rudabach, hold for a minute. Oh, could you unshare your screen, please, so we can see the full screen? Thank you.
Thank
Go ahead,
you.
Dr. Rudabach, I'm sorry.
The other thing I would say, there's no need to introduce yourselves twice with your titles. You each individually did that, then somebody read it off the screen also. Pick one. I don't know that you need to do both. Your business strategy slide was very nicely done. You might consider using a little bit larger if you can, if it fits. Your balanced scorecard slide needs to be enlarged. And your lessons learned slide was really hard to read, quite frankly, for two reasons. One, the type size was a little small, but then the color, the white letters blended in with your background such that it was busy and you really had to, it was work to read it. So let me encourage you to do something different with that. Otherwise, you guys are making nice progress, nice job, and congratulations on your work. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gilbert.
All right, I'm gonna pick on you because Dr. Green said that this was one of the best teams, right? So if you're one of the best teams with the results, you have to give one of the best presentations. I don't want to drop off. So with that said, you have to tighten up the introduction. Y'all seemed uncomfortable and out of sync. So you have to spend time together and get to trust each other and what you're going to deliver in the presentation. You have to know this is my moment and this is so-and-so's moment, and just get that straight. You have to pick a different template. Dr. Rubach only picked on one slide. I'm picking on the whole thing because you, on your, I think it was on the second slide, you have words in the background, but then you have your own words. Definitely don't want that. Pick a different template altogether so it's less busy and I can just focus on your stuff and not looking at, on the last slide, I was like, is that a stock image, right? Like, because there was a lot going on that took completely away from a team that finished with excellent results. You finishing with excellent results doesn't do me any good if I can't see and hear that you had excellent results, right? Like, this is your show and tell project, right? Oh, Dr. Green likes page numbers. There were no page numbers, so I'll just go ahead and steal that for him. But really, it's just tighten up little things that have, to be frank, nothing to do with the project and everything to do with how you're presenting what you've done. These are the little intangible things that separate employees once you're in a workforce. because a lot of people can do a job. That's whatever. Not a lot of people can explain what their job actually is and why it matters. That's what you're being challenged with here. And so you got to master these little things to take you to the next level.
Excellent points, and yeah, you stole my thunder because page numbers. Question needs to be asked. Why do you care about page numbers, Dr. Green? Because I looked at a lot of professional presentations don't have it. It's because it's a location marker. If we have questions, I can go, hey, this is slide 7, slide 8. So it helps us out. So that's the reason why. So your presentation, question? I had a question.
No, I was just agreeing. Sorry.
Okay. Well, thank you. Praise the Lord. Your presentation was 4 minutes and 55 seconds, which I thought was great. So you guys have a lot of time. Talk about some of the trophies, some of the awards, some of the accomplishments, like we do the weekly report. Highlight some of those. And also, you didn't get first place. What would you have done different? How many years would it take? And this is actually to Team 7. And explain what a quarter is. A quarter is a year. So people understand a quarter is a year for us. So it's a year. So excellent job. I really like the introduction. I'm going to encourage all the other teams. Introduce yourself and what you did, your role. Let's give a virtual applause for Team 5. Let's give something. Come on, everybody. There we go. And next up is second place, and that is Team 6. Team 6, you're up.
All right.
Go for it, Team.
Hi, my name is Eli Koch. I'm the president of Gear Glide. Our slogan is precision in every pedal. And what we're going to be talking about is over in our presentation is our company overview, our business strategy, results, lesson learned from each team member, and to wrap it up, our conclusion. So our company overview, our mission is to enhance the lives of riders by delivering bicycles that embody performance, style, and a sense of adventure. Our stores are located in Amsterdam, New York City, and Rio de Janeiro. And meeting our team, I'm Eli Koch, the president.
I'm Landon Ayers. I'm Vice President of Manufacturing and Human Resources.
I'm Andrew Clayton, Vice President of Marketing and Sales.
I'm Connor Ryan, and I'm Vice President of Accounting and Finance.
I'm Jackson Bivens, and I'm the market analyst and also marketing.
And then for our business strategy, our target was mainly mountain and speed segments. We remain top 2 in the market share in both market and speed and mountain and speed segments every quarter. And we are now emphasizing more focus on recreation. And then we established sales centers in high demand areas like Rio de Janeiro, Amsterdam, New York, and we're expanding to Bangalore. And then we wanted to design the top products, like our Swift bike has ranked first in speed every quarter, and our trail bike has remained top 3 every quarter. And then observing what advertisements are working and adjusting accordingly. Our speed for all ad ranks first in the speed segment, and our Trek Trail and ranks third. Our Trek Trail ad ranks third.
All right, so here are results. Our highlights from our performance in quarter 2. As you can see in that pie chart there, we had the highest market share at 34%, and we did not expect to do that well. So as you can also see there, we lost a ton of sales due to stockouts, and that ended up being a problem for the rest of the simulation. But as you can see in the demand, our speed bike was the highest of pretty much everything. And our mountain was right behind it. And for quarter three, we suffered greatly from all of those stockouts. We were the second best performing team, and everything else we were about second to fourth in. We didn't do anything exceptionally, but we didn't do anything bad. And as our results for quarter four came in this morning, we were the second best performing team overall. Again, we didn't do anything amazingly, but we didn't do anything bad again. And we did everything at least a little better than good.
Yeah, talking about the cumulative results, if you'll go back, Eli, so these are from quarter three. We rank second under the orange underline is right below our results. So our total performance cumulative score was 7.652, which ranks second. And like Jackson was saying, a lot of our problems stemmed from our stockouts in quarter two, but we were still able to remain profitable in every quarter and continue to stay in second and sustain our market share. We stayed second in the speed segment every quarter, and second, or well, I think we were third last quarter in speed, but we were tied. And then we were second in mountain. And so we continued to sustain our market share, even though our demand for our ill will created by our stockouts lost us about 800 units in the third quarter. But we continued to improve on it and continued to look forward to quarter four, where we're revamping our ads, and we are revamping our bikes too to better produce sales and outperform the other teams. And moving into lessons learned, Eli, if you'll go over. So for me, I learned how to work around our diverse schedules and implement the diverse ideas that we generated and implement them into our business to better help us succeed.
And then for my lesson learned, this project really just hit home how important teamwork is in the work field, and I just never really knew how important it was. And so now I just understand how much work goes into forming a good team and like just having good chemistry.
So as vice president of manufacturing, I learned that while it's always important to plan for the future, sometimes the future can be unpredictable. And we saw this with our market share and stockouts. So from that, I realized that one of the most important skills to have in business is adaptability.
I learned pretty much everything else that's already been said throughout all the other presentations about learning how to manage a business and stuff. But I think the most important thing that I learned is if you don't know what to do, you just got to throw spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks, because that's what we did. And we ended up doing pretty well.
What I learned from being the president of the company is leadership and being flexible with everyone's schedules. I thought we communicated well with each other over the course of this, and it worked out pretty good. And then leading into our conclusion, overall, the company has shown adaptability and strategic foresight in our operations. Our company's early establishment ability to navigate challenges, focus on smaller markets, and also in a proactive approach. We focused on the market changes have contributed to its strong financial position and consistent market share. And all in all, that wraps up our presentation. Thank you for your time.
Thanks so much. We're gonna share the screen. We're gonna go with Gilbert and then Rudabaugh.
Yeah, I took a lot of notes on this one. So first, Andrew, you have an echo during half of your words. You sound like Phil Collins calling in the air tonight. So either A, your teammates need to tell you and adjust accordingly, or B, just figure out your microphone scenario. Intro slide, nitpicking. One photo was an oval all the way on the left, the others were circles. Fix that. Center your text boxes on the slide for the business strategy slide. I love the slide itself. Just shift everything over to the right. And on that slide, somebody, can't remember who, somebody was reading towards the end. You weren't presenting. I heard it start to come unglued a little bit when you were struggling with pronunciations, and it tipped me off. You got to know your messaging. You got to know your narrative. But that was a good slide. The Q3 highlight slide, I like that. It was compelling. It was very easy to follow and spoke to the results. A couple of times throughout the presentation, multiples of you said some variation of, we did well, not bad, could have been worse, but not the best. If you have the time, expand on that in that moment when you present that thought. What was it that you almost were a lead at or that you didn't quite fail at? Because what ended up happening was it wasn't until Connor towards the end actually gave us some of the qualitative data around what you did or didn't do well. And he had a very long talk track right there instead of y'all sprinkling that in throughout the rest of the story. So that way you're speaking truth on the individual slide where the content is most appropriate. And you just like gave him a lot to do in a short time. Connor, beware of your lighting. If you have a virtual background, your lighting source is going to impact how we see your face, if we see your face. So for example, if I back too far away from here, I'm very aware of where you're positioned in your room. And then lastly, find a more professional way of saying throw spaghetti at the wall. That's very much a real strategy in business. Nobody acknowledges it. It is real, but you have to find a different way to say we did something random. And that's honestly part of being a professional.
Thank you so much. Dr. Rudebach?
So I will say to each one of you, practice, practice, practice. There were several hesitations between either transitions or when you're trying to figure out what to say. So that'll come with some practice. Slide 2, I thought was pretty busy. Slide 3, I thought was a nice way to present your team. Connor, you kept going in and out of the picture, and a lot of it, as Mr. Gilbert pointed out, was lighting. But the other piece of it is to sit still. The way you're sitting right now, the camera catches up with you and it's fine. But when you move in any way, shape, or form with that background, it blurs you or makes your hair stand on end or just all kinds of funky things. I find myself watching that to see what you're going to do next. So do your best to hold still. Let's see, slide 5 was too small and you need an arrow. And I would ask you on slide 5, do you guys need all 4 of those charts? If you do, and if they're that important, you might consider either putting 2 to a slide or maybe just 1 to a slide so we can actually see what you're talking about there. Slide 6 had a nice arrow. 7 needs a slot near an arrow. And slide 8, what I would say there is there's way too much text. Typically, bullet points are not complete sentences. They're just talking points. And so if you have a bullet point and a full sentence and a period, that tells you you have too much. So bullet point are just talking points. They're not complete sentences, so you don't need periods. So let me encourage you to cut that down some. That was all I have for this one. Nice work, folks. It's going to come along very, very nicely. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Rudebach. So overall practice, this is for all the teams. I'm going to heavily penalize you if you go over the time. So I think Team 6 did a great job. I like that our team, our team on slide 3, I like that. I think the conclusion slide needs to be simple. You could actually use that team slide. I just think you got too much text, and we just like you tell us. But the overall major thing that you guys got to practice, your presentation was almost 8 minutes. It was 7 minutes and 52 seconds. So that's practice. You gotta get that down. That's just too much. And in saying that, you need to highlight some of the trophies, some of the accomplishments that you did. So I think you guys did a great job. Let's give it up for Team 6. Some reactions. Come on now. Come on. We're almost done. Okay. And our winner, our 2023 winner for the business simulation in our class It's team three. Team three, you're up.
Well, hello. I'm Alex Schumann with Swift Cycle Team 3.
I'm Ryan Cosachata for Chavez.
I'm Thad Rowan.
I'm Isaiah Jones. I'm the Vice President of Manufacturing and Marketing.
And so, just to give you a quick overview of what we'll be talking about today, we want to talk about how performance is judged within the simulation. We also want to talk about our 4 keys to be successful in this marketplace, what went wrong during our simulations, and how we recovered, and our lessons learned.
So we started by kind of understanding how the system works, understanding how business works. We looked at how performance is judged, and that you get off of your balanced scorecard. And so we kind of used all those values to see how we can improve for later quarters. And then, kind of like I said, as students, we want to continue to learn, and so we read the lectures. We kind of understand how the system works, because that was part of the struggle for some teams, that they didn't know what to do. And I just encouraged them to read it, and then you can see what works and see what doesn't work for this program. Our brand design, we kind of cracked down on our brand design towards the end. We saw what was working for other teams, and we even took a few risks in some places. We saw that some of these features other teams aren't doing, but if we do it, we might kind of make that jump and make that leap, and it worked out for us. And in recreation, we were tied for first.
We like to make sure that our employees were really well taken care of, that they were getting really good benefits, and increase their productivity all around. So.
And then our third key for success is marketing effectiveness. And what does that mean? That's basically just talking about our ads and how customers view our brand. And so that's going into brand judgment, that's going into our ads. And so it's really key that your ads target where your consumers want to be targeted and not where they do not want to be, because that can negatively affect your influence. And so through the third quarter, we actually had the best in mountain, and it's not shown on the slide, but we were second in speed and second in recreation during this time. So we were right up there on the top for all of these different aspects, and that allowed us to be successful overall.
Alrighty, and our fourth reason is, or point is being aggressive in leadership and strategic statistics. For me, our aggressive leadership is in the business, at least in our company, means to be proactive, innovative, and assertive in decision making. For us, for our aggressive leadership, it helped us maintain the leadership of all the other companies and stay ahead of the game. For overall, to have an aggressive leadership in the business, we needed to be determined and push ourselves and the others in the company to become the best that we can to challenge the competitors.
During quarter 2, our performance dropped a lot because we didn't invest in our future enough, and we just couldn't produce fast enough to meet the demand that was offered. So this led to poor performance overall, and that led into quarter 3 also, just poor performance because of our low manufacturing rate.
Yeah, so what did we do to recover from this? Well, despite the rapid increase in demand, we were not able to increase in our production because of our relatively low profits from the previous quarter. So we increased as much as we could, but we knew that wouldn't be enough. So with our knowledge that our market share would decrease, we decided to make a bold move. We decided to increase our prices significantly over the competition, over what we had previously done, and that allowed us to rapidly increase in our profit. So we had about an 80% increase from quarters 2 to 3, and then we had that same 80% increase during quarter 4, even though we had a large net loss due to our stockouts. So, what are our lessons learned? We learned that planning for the future is highly important, and that we can't just be ignoring it and putting it off for the future, because if we put it off for the future, then that'll affect us negatively for the rest of the time. Customers, they buy features, not benefits. So we need to focus on getting them the features that they want, and not just having different things that we think would be cool to add onto the bike. We need to have the stuff that they want. And then finally, again, certain things on the bikes could negatively affect how a customer views it, even if overall you might initially think it would add value. It might not if the customer doesn't need it. So conclusions. Swift Cycles, our company, we utilize the balanced scorecard to our advantage by understanding how it worked and how to use it effectively. We adapted and changed to stay on top of the competition despite our downfalls during second, third quarter. And we did not let our one down corner define us. And then finally, we stuck to our key ideas and strategies that would lead us to success. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. We're gonna go with Rudabach, followed by Gilbert.
Okay, so nice job on slide 2. Number 3, the size of the text was very nice. Number 4, you probably could have moved that into 2 different slides. There was too much information there. It could have been split up very easily. Number 6, your brand design chart, add the arrow there and use a bit larger. The transition on slide 7, I wasn't sure. I think it might have been from Thad to Alex. There was a gap there. I'm not sure. When I looked up, Thad, if it was him, had stopped talking, so I couldn't tell exactly who had been talking. I'm sorry, but it was when we moved over to Alex, but you'll find that pretty easily. The chart 8 was much easier to read. Appreciate that. Bullet points, number 9, were too busy. And again, back down to number 11, your bullet points, no period, but you had one, the very first bullet point had a period, the rest of them did not. So even though you should not have periods with bullet points, you for sure need to be consistent, okay? And slide 10, backing up one, you did a really nice job identifying your team. That was very nicely done. And I thought slide 12 was very nicely done also. So again, like the other teams, practice, 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 tighten it up, and you'll be great. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gilbert.
Yeah, so I want to piggyback off of Dr. Rudabach. When you type a lot,
Gilbert, Mr. Gilbert, you're breaking up.
But like, I hate my internet. Can y'all hear me?
No, you're breaking up, brother.
Can you hear me?
We hear you now, yeah.
How about now?
Yeah, it's better.
Okay, let's start up my video. Hey, so when you put a lot of type on a slide, it takes away from what you're saying, is kind of what Dr. Rudabach is getting to. Less words on slide 9 and 10. And the transition that you're talking about, Dr. Rudabach, it was that you ended the slide with so. Don't do that. That's why the transition was a little odd. But what y'all did really well was telling us the why and how behind your success. Y'all did a really great job with that, so I appreciate
it. Okay. Great. Great job. Let's give it up for so your time was 5:40. Again, practice. Let's get that under 5 minutes. Let's give this team a virtual applause, and that'll kind of tie us up. A great job overall. 15 seconds from Dr. Rudabach and Mr. Gilbert on your assessment of the day, and we're looking for Thursday. If you could give us your takeaways, Dr. Rudabach, your takeaways, Mr. Gilbert, then we'll go to the house.
First of all, congratulations, folks. For freshmen, the first time you're seeing a simulation to do this, first time with a Zoom presentation, you guys are right up there with some of our juniors. So congratulations on your first effort. Look forward to continued growth in what you've learned and what you're doing. So best wishes.
Okay. Mr. Gilbert.
In case you can't hear me, I'm also typing it. I love seeing how mature y'all already are as presenters. And it's encouraging because I know It's finishing little things that's going to take you from good to great or great to elite. Really looking forward to see how y'all grow.
And on that note, I just want to again, let's give it a virtual applause for our reviewers. This is what we do, virtual applause. So just last comments. I'm going to send the team leaders the final instructions. Again, look at the video. This recording will be available. I'm looking for getting better, making the transition changes that the reviewers have given you. And on that note, I want you guys to have a great day. Dr. Green signing out. Y'all take care.